Welcome back to Opinionated Presents Hanging with Hicks. Today's guest is an Exit 1 legend. He's a brother to me. We met at the Homestead Pal, playing on the basketball courts of South Dade Senior High School, and now he's a guest on this show. Today's guest is Tylan Birts.
I think it's time that I welcome y'all to my show. I think it's time I welcome y'all. Come watch my victories, yo.
Tylan Birts, TY, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Hey, man, long overdue, man.
It really is. I mean, we had your big brother Mike on the show, and, you know, he's a business partner. He big bro, but, you know, you and I, we go back since the PAL days. So
way back.
It's been a minute. So just tell people a little bit about yourself, man, who you are, where you from.
Man, Tylan Birts, man. I'm a young man from Florida City, Florida. I'm a professional basketball player. But I'm also, you know, eventually looking to get into a bunch of community events eventually. I'm a Baylor University grad. I graduated with my bachelor's degree as well as my master's.
Educated, man.
Educated. Yeah, man.
Everybody I had on the show has been educated.
Exactly.
We preach that. We practice that. But Ty, I mean, you know, Florida City, Florida, Exit 1. I mean, Exit 1 Productions is the brand that I stand by. But tell the people a little bit about how it was growing up in Florida City.
Man, you know, during the time being as a kid, you know, it was great. Like for me, like I didn't realize, like as I grew older, I realized, dang, man, like my upbringing wasn't as normal as other people, you know, like we really low key had it rough. Like, you know, it was kind of crazy, you know, but it made me who I am today, man. Like just being a grinder, man, watching my dad get up before the sun even rises every day, you know, those things and those that I saw at an early age, that just made me who I am today. So
exactly. I mean, and you know, you and I were fortunate, right? You know, we had both parents in the household,
exactly.
And I mean, we didn't have to go out there in the streets and kind of like find that mother or father figure. You know, we had it right at the house. But like you said, you know, you grew up in Florida City. I grew up in Homestead, but it's really, you could throw a rock across the street and you in either one.
Yeah,
but
man.
Both of us, you know, we grew up probably quicker than a lot of other kids that didn't grow up in Miami-Dade County. You know, they didn't get to see that type of activity. But I mean, how did you have to narrow yourself out of that situation, right? Because it's obvious trouble can come find you easily growing up in neighborhoods like that. But how did you go the opposite way?
Well, you know, as the saying goes, it takes a village. So I say I had a great support system, you know, like you say, fortunate enough to have both of my parents in my life. But, you know, as well as down to, you know, my grandmothers, and, you know, one of my biggest role models, my older brother. You know, I just he's the reason I picked up a ball. You know, me being competitive, I always wanted to be better than him. So, you know, just keeping my eyes on the prize and just watching him do what he does, and that's really what kept me on the straight path, man.
And I mean, you know, you and I, we met essentially playing a basketball game in middle school. Where I was at Cutler Ridge, you was at Homestead Middle, and we ended up playing at the PAL together. But how did basketball, I mean, you know, you say your brother got you, he was that main point, but what made you realize, like, man, you know what, basketball can get me to a different place?
Well, early on, man, you know, my pops always told me, like he always, you know, he used to tell me, man, you got it, T.Y., you got it. My brother would hint at it. Even your dad even told me when I got in high school, your dad told me, man, T, you can go. Like, but it really just never clicked for me. I'll be honest. Like, you know, I had a small circle. You know, I keep a small circle. My friends, they also, you know, was telling me. But I say when I met my mentor in junior college, my sophomore year, I want to say, Altavius Carter. He actually works for the Orlando Magic now.
Carter, cool people.
Yeah, he real good people. But he kind of, you know, showed me the ropes a little bit, you know, okay, yeah, look, I need you here an hour before practice. We're going to do this. Okay, nah, where you going, Birts? We staying after. We getting extra shots up. So, honestly, man, I just was playing, you know, surely off athleticism my entire career. Up until that point, I was like, you know what? Like, I can really go professional, be a professional athlete with this. And so that's what happened, man.
So you lead South Dade to a pretty great regular season. You go from South-Dade to Santa Fe Community College, JUCO life.
Yeah.
How was that? How was that grind? Because a lot of people don't understand the grind of being a junior college athlete.
Well, for starters, I say I was definitely spoiled, you know, as far as, you know, we had our own bedroom and bathroom, but just, man, the grind, man, was crazy. Like, you know, Division I, Division II, you have a set amount of hours they can have you in the gym. In junior college, well, at least when I was in junior college, you can be there all day.
Yeah.
And I even remember, like, my conditioning test, we had to make a mile under 5:30. If you got anything after 5:30, you had to go again, and it's at 6 a.m. So yeah, man, it was a grind for sure. I remember coming back from winter break, being home for 2 days, coming back from winter break, we in the gym just running sprints all day, up and back, suicide, 17s. Funny story. We were beating Broward Community College by 20 points at half. They came back and ended up defeating us. Our coach was so mad, Coach Murray at the time. Shout out to Coach Murray, Chris Murray. He he was so mad after the game. He had us lifting weights, like full on workout. So, but man, it's all a part of the journey, though.
Exactly. And you know, after a short stint at a previous college, you end up at Barry. You end up back home, being a Miami boy. How was that playing, you know, back home in front of your family?
Man, it was full circle, man. Actually thinking about it, like as I sit here, my mom attended Barry University. So like, you know, when the opportunity came and presented itself, I jumped right at it. You know, Barry is a great program, especially basketball wise. You know, they have a lot of guys who are professional athletes playing overseas. And man, it was amazing, man, especially, you know, my senior year, that last ride, just looking in the stands, always seeing my family there. It was definitely amazing, man. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
I heard you had all the Exit 1 up there in Miami Shores.
Hey, they used to make a joke, man, in practice, like, yo, Ty got his own fan section, man. Nobody can sit on this side of the bleachers, man. Yeah, man. Coach, but the entire coaching staff, man, even, you know, up to the head, man, Butch Estes, man, that's my guy to this day.
And I mean, you know, you accomplished something where you said, you know, you went to school at your mom's old alma mater. You playing basketball. You're the man. You're essentially set on a path to, you know, make it to the next level. But you stopped and you made sure that you got that education, not 1 degree, but 2 degrees. Tell us a little bit about what made you get these degrees and why they were so important for you.
Oh, man. Well, we got to take it all the way back to, you know, my childhood. Watching my mom, just watching her work all day, and then taking me and my brother to school with her at Barry University, Powers Hall, 2nd floor. I remember this vividly, you know, just watching her grind it out, getting that degree. You know, she installed some great values into my brother and I. Even the smallest things, you know, during the summer as a kid, you want to run around and play all day, man. My mom made sure we read 30 minutes a day. We couldn't go outside and play unless we got our reading in, you know what I'm saying? So just those small values, and, you know, if we want to be, you know, straightforward, man, being a black male is hard. So, you know, getting my education was definitely a focal point. You know, my parents instilled that into me and my brother early on, you know, so, yeah.
And like you said, I mean, same. I mean, our houses are identical when it comes to the academic part. I mean, my mom, she made me do summer reading, but I remember she didn't have to make me, because when I was younger, she used to take me to the public library every summer. Like every week we was getting new books, and I was learning how to read and all that during Black History Month. She had a yellow book. It's still in the house. You got to grab a yellow book. You got to go pick a name, and you better not choose MLK or Malcolm X. You better find somebody new to learn about. But me not understanding, but when I got older, I realized, I was like, man, that's special, because she let me know education was important, and my father as well, because they both have their master's degrees. So it was an educated house. My godfathers, they were educated, so it was around me to understand that, look here, it don't matter what anybody tell you, you're not gonna be just no regular black boy out there on them streets.
Exactly.
But you know, getting these 2 degrees from Barry, you now go on to play professionally overseas. Tell us about that first stint in Austria.
In Georgia.
In Georgia.
Tbilisi, Georgia. Tbilisi, Georgia, not Atlanta, Georgia. People get it confused. But man, if I'm being quite honest, and I joke with my coach at the time, Manu Markiosvili, I joke with him.
Slow that down. Say that name again for us.
Well, I'm gonna say the full name: Manuchar Markioshvili. That's his name. Yeah. But my last day in Georgia, I even told him, like, at first, originally, I didn't want to go. It was September. It was late in September. And it was always a dream of mine to play professionally. And when it came around, I'm like, Tbilisi, Georgia, like, what? But it was a blessing in disguise, man. Like, I was able to just see, like, although we speak different languages, this round basketball is a universal language. You know what I'm saying? So just learning different cultures and stuff like that. It was the middle of COVID as well, but it was just great, like, to see, like, that this round basketball can bring us all together. But it was definitely it was a grind.
Did you learn how to speak a little bit of the language?
Oh, I know a little something.
To get you by.
Yeah, exactly. I know enough.
So you come back to the States. You get to put your feet back on American soil. You get to enjoy your family, and you get another phone call. Now this time it's not in Georgia; it's in Austria.
Yes, sir.
How was that experience?
I would definitely say Austria, man. It's a beautiful country. Not that Georgia wasn't, but Austria, it's right near Germany and France, and we more so on the western side of Europe. So it's definitely more modern and up to date. It's another beautiful country. Club was pretty professional for the most part. It was definitely another great experience, like just being able, this time around, COVID pretty much this past year was, COVID, we had got used to it.
Yeah, we got used to it. We can't say that it went away.
Yeah, it didn't go away, but we got used to it. So we were allowed fans in the arena. And so, man, like, my best memories are playoff time. We're actually playing against our rival team, which is, another short story. My teammate from my first year was on that rival team.
Oh, man.
So, that was just a fun experience. Each game was sold out. So, man, that was pretty cool, trying to learn their language as well. Well, they speak German there because that's their neighbor. Germany is their neighbor. But that was definitely a cool experience. I'm grateful for every opportunity, though, for sure. But
and, I mean, you talk about all the highlights and, the great parts of playing, just playing professional basketball in these countries, and you're getting to see and learn a lot of new things. But I'm sure that, like you said, it was during COVID. Were there any hard times, any hard struggles of being in Georgia? You're in a new country. You're by yourself. You barely speak the language. What's going on in your mind?
Oh, man. I'm just trying to pass time by as best as I can, man. For me, the holidays. And then I believe in Georgia at the time, I was 8 or 9 hours ahead. So,
because we used to text, and I'd be like, man, I don't know what time it is over there, but okay.
Exactly. So, just like, I would say, like, it was a big adjustment, man. Like, I don't think, when I was in Georgia my first year, I missed Thanksgiving, grandma cooking, man. I missed that. I missed Christmas. New Year's. I missed a ton of holidays.
You missed all the major holidays.
I missed all the major holidays, so it was definitely an adjustment. But man, it's just crazy coming back to the States. Where every time I leave, coming back to the States, I'm just more grateful. I have certain things and possessions that people in most countries don't have. So in both places these past year, well, specifically in Georgia, like, there were no dryers in the apartment, so you had to hang dry everything.
Oh, man.
Very
old
small.
School.
Yeah,
old school.
Very small and old school, but you're grateful for it. Like, when I came home, I was still hang drying my stuff. My mom was like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I forgot we had a dryer." So, but yeah, man. Georgia wasn't the wealthiest country as well. We'll get home from some road games, man. My hot water may be out sometimes, you know what I mean? Man. Yeah, and it's not just my apartment. It's the entire country.
Oh, the whole country.
The entire country. The power go off random times, Oh, wow. So these what people don't see. These the highs and lows what people don't see, But you just got to embrace the journey at the end of the day.
Yeah, because, from the outside looking in, right, a lot of people say, man, he's playing professional basketball. He has to have, like, man, he's getting paid all this money. This man get to see different countries, man. I see his games on Instagram or whatever the case is, but they don't really know the struggle of what you're really going through.
Nah, man, it's a grind, man. Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm completely grateful for it, man. Like it's a million other dudes that will, want to be in my same shoes. And so you can't really get caught up in how bad it is. You just gotta, me personally, what gets me by just being grateful, cause I could be back home, itching for another opportunity, but just having the opportunity to just put on that jersey and just play the game that I love and to get paid doing it, man, you can't beat that.
And I mean, outside of basketball, like how does Ty Birts, relax, remove himself from the world? Like what's the part of Ty that, not too many people get to know or see?
Oh man, I'm laid back, man. I like to just relax, kick it with family, my loved ones, my girl, obviously. Like I just like to relax and chill. Like when I come home, so much time has passed by, man. I love to just cherish every moment with my family as much as I can. So whether that's, getting on jet skis, just traveling as well. So, yeah, that's me.
And I mean, you and I, we both come from these small communities. I like to just say a community in general. I don't like to separate Homestead and Florida City because I feel like if you're not from down here, don't even come from around here. Like, I mean, what makes you want to give back to your community?
Oh, man, I just feel like it was preached to me, so much growing up. And I just remember being that kid, having, the intro rows come to your school and talk to you. Or like my dad was able to sneak me an intro row jersey and he signed it. That meant so much to me. And so when I come around, even down to the smallest things, if I work out at my old high school, if I got like any like, any like hidden gems that I can give the kids and they're willing to listen, I'll more than gladly give it, just because like at some point, my time is going to come to an end. I want to at least, leave an impact. Even if it's just one individual, I want to leave some type of impact.
I mean, because you and your brother and myself, we started S1 Productions and, we're going to, we're going to bring you to it. But right now, you playing ball. But once ball is over with, what are some things that you're trying to accomplish?
Oh, man, I got a list, man. I got a list full, but keep it brief, man. I really want to, when we were growing up, we had Homestead Power. It was pretty active. I'm not too sure. I'm always gone these days, so I'm not too sure how active they are. But I remember we used to travel to Orlando, Coral Springs, and we were really active. It felt like it was year round, to be honest. So somehow, some way, man, I want to, bring that back. I know at Homestead Power they have like Eric Garcia and this guy named Corey. They have this thing called Risk Takers Basketball. They have that whole thing going on. So, even if it's just me donating and giving back somehow, some way, I definitely want to, embrace that and just give, be open arms to that.
I mean, tell any of the young people out there, man, who want to continue playing basketball professionally, what are some things or some hidden gems that you can give them that they can take in?
Stay confident, man. Stay confident at all times. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't do. Now, there are going to be things that you need to work on. Take constructive criticism, correct. But at the same time, stay confident, man. And it even says it in the Bible, man. Man don't work, man don't eat. So put your work in, man, at all times. And me personally, I'm not a really big social media guy. Like, I understand the world is, has turned into this and it's valuable. But don't get so caught up in social media that you forget to put your work in.
Exactly.
Like LeBron said, keep the main thing, man.
Man, you dropped some gems right there, man.
It's important, man. Keep the main thing, and I live by that.
Exactly. I mean, Ty, man, you and I, we go back. We family, we brothers essentially, and
we locked in.
I appreciate you coming on this show, giving me the opportunity to present Hanging with Hicks. It's different from Opinionated the podcast. It's just me right now, but you coming out means a lot to me because you back me with whatever it is that I may be doing. With that being said, he's Ty Birts. This wraps up another great episode of Opinionated presents Hanging with Hicks. Stay hanging.
Hey, where I grew up from, we was having fun. We ain't get no fuss, we stay under the sun. We would chill at the beach, then we go watch the heat.